So those of you just joining us, I just finished reading George Lomb, so sorry you missed that. So moving on to the talk, as most of you know, those of you who are new may not, I'm experiencing a spate of ill health right now. Uh, in fact, I'm aware that over the last few months, many of us in this broader spiritual community have been going through painful times, unusually so, I should say. For some of us, it's been primarily physical dysfunctions. For others, it's been emotional upsets. And many of us are experiencing loss of financial health. And this isn't just my observation. I've heard it from several other people in the metaphysical healing, the alternative healing, the spiritual community, that all sorts of us are getting hit with crap all at once. So for me, it's been 2 months of bodily malfunction, constant pain, loss of most of my income sources. And the doctor says I probably got 3 to 4 more weeks ahead of me before this coming Wednesday's procedure. Keep me in prayer on Wednesday, please, for the surgeon. I'll keep the surgeon in prayer and keep me in prayer for the best possible outcome before the results have full effect. And ideally, at the end of this 3 or 4 week period, I'll be pain-free and able to pee freely again. Um, I trust then I'll also be able to put energy into harnessing a return to financial health. Um, but notwithstanding all the pain and inconvenience, what a learning experience it's been for me. And I'm not just talking about the peculiarities of my body and the medical system. I've become aware of the stresses that this kind of experience puts on my own faith. And as I've been going through this, there kept coming to me a song, and from that, the psalm. It's a song I've only heard 3 or 4 times in one location. It's how well I'll read the psalm, and that covers that has the words of the song in it. By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down. Yea, we wept when we remembered Zion. We hanged our harps upon the willows in the midst thereof. For there they that carried us away captive required of us a song. And our captor said to us, sing us one of the songs of Zion. This is the important part. How shall we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? Okay, so first of all, let's start with the definition of Zion in the metaphysical sense. According to metaphysical dictionaries, those want to come on up here, such as Charles Fillmore's Metaphysical Bible Dictionary, Zion means spiritual consciousness, love's abode within the soul, and an elevated state of inner peace and strength. So, okay, that's pretty simple, pretty obvious stuff. Okay, so strange land. What is the strange land? For them, it was literally being captive in a place where this was not home. The strange land here is when we find ourselves living outside the divine good order of God's complete love and good health, including mental health, physical health, and financial health, and all the others that we can think of. So the nub of this psalm is the question: how can we manage to keep our divine connection when our earthly existence is hollering, ouch? Because for many of us, whether it's now or some other time, we're going to be in a strange land. Hopefully not more than once, but maybe more than once. So as I've been considering all this, I came across a passage in a book of sermons by a Scottish minister, James Stewart. Wonderful book, if you incredible use of language, very Christian, but not hardcore going to hell, thank God Christian. So if you come across the book, it might be a fun read when you want some thoughtful Christianity. And this particular sermon seemed to address the same issue. How do we hold on to our Zion, our sense of faith, our sense of hope when we're faced with challenge? And I'm going to read a bit here, slightly modified to be more specific to our topic. So in his sermon, he had, "Here we are tonight, exiles of eternity, pilgrims and sojourners before God, children of the unseen, people with a citizenship in heaven. Here are we with all that for our home and background, and yet all around us, the hard, painful, tempting world, the jarring, jangling, jostling world." And let me tell you, when you're sick, the world is jarring, jangling, jostling, the world of sense and flesh and the temporal, and it is out to absorb our every thought. Are we remembering Zion? Now, I can personally testify to how difficult it is to stay focused on my connection to divine love and divine health when my body is living in pain at a level of 6 out of 10 or 7 out of 10. And this is also what Emmett Fox is referring to. And it's just happenstance that the reading for today fits with what I was going to talk about, but it happens often. Um, our bodies are programmed to engrave big pain experiences into our nerves and fibers. There's actually a healing process specific called somatic healing for those of you who are looking for a way to address finally getting it out. So we face a major challenge. Where are we to sing God's song, if not in the Babylon of physical and mental challenge? Now, strictly speaking, scientifically, there's a reason to sing of divine healing power, to sing of God's love, because study after study reports improved physical, mental, and mental health directly related to having been singing. They actually can test the health of the body before and after singing. It's a powerful tool for healing. And interestingly, group singing seems even more powerful than solo singing. It releases endorphins, lowers cortisol, the stress hormone, boosts the immune system's frontline defenses. There's mental health and stress release, cardiovascular health, neurological and cognitive benefits too. Okay, great. Nice to know. But I think we also can all recognize or have experienced it's easy to sing, and this is again from James Stewart. It's easy to sing, "Worthy is the Lamb," when we get to heaven, when our life is good. The real valor, the real test of faith is when we are singing, "Worthy is the Lamb," when we have to figure out how to endure and see our way through our current life difficulty, our physical pain, our life challenge, whatever it is. So as I consider this writing, I find myself remembering the story of the man who needed to pray rain. It used to be a fairly common story, but I haven't heard it spoken often. So for those of you unfamiliar with the story, a recap. The man was going someplace with a friend, but said they had to stop at a certain place on the way so he could pray rain. At the stop, the man went and stood in the field for perhaps 2 minutes. "Okay, we can go now," he said to his friend. "Is that all?" asked the friend, who had expected a fairly lengthy stop. Yep, I just took the time I needed to feel the rain, smell it, and hear it. Now it'll come." I wish I could joyfully recommend that this is an easy way to sing God's healing power into your life, to sing God's pain relief into our strange land. I find it so difficult to create in my spiritual self the sense of healthy existence, to live it, if you will, to breathe it, to smell it, to taste it, that I so very much want to reclaim from this graven image of pain. Sometimes when I've been alone, I've pulled up an internet hymn, and a hymn of healing or a hymn of gratitude, or a hymn of speaking of God's love for that matter, and I've sung along. It helps some. I listen to healing and pain relief frequency recordings on the internet. It helps some. I remind myself with readings from Emmett Fox, from Brother Mandis, and others. I request assistance from angels, power animals, healing spirits. I've had help from healers who've generously given to me. It's helped. I try to use my willpower to remember that this existence here is just the movie we inhabit that's part of this much broader existence we have in and out of this body. But I can't fully bring myself to live it, not the full reality that Emmett Fox and Brother Mandus defined so well. I talk with the angels, my power animals, the Christ spirit, everyone else I can think of, relying on their assistance, requesting their assistance. All that helps some. And I'm doing the best that I seem capable of. Meantime, of course, I'm doing everything I can to help this earthly body heal on this side of reality, too. So, sadly, in this talk, I've got no ready, easy answers for how you can most effectively sing your healing songs when you find yourself living in a strange land. Yet, as I've mentioned in my own journey, there are methods that can help you sing, can help you erase or begin erasing these graven images. All the things I've done, the healers who've helped me, my pain is usually now down to 2. Much more manageable. Otherwise, I wouldn't have the energy to be talking right now. So I leave you with some ideas that might help you on your journey away from the strange land and to the land of better health. First of all, find ways to sing praise and healing songs in your world. Sing it as often as you can. If you have a choir or a group of people you sing with, go sing with them. Keep in perspective that this movie we are inhabiting is but a small piece of our total journey. Because believe me, when this crap first hit and the pain was so huge, I began to understand the guy who's in another community of ours who tried to commit suicide because the pain was more than he could handle. It's like, okay, now I get it. Oh boy. So keep things in perspective. Do empower yourself in every way to contribute to your own healing and to the world's healing. And that includes be prepared to be an activist in your own medical treatments. I've read several articles and we ended up ourselves saying, can we do this? How about this? Sort of things. It made a difference. By the way, it also made a difference that I was friendly in the ER those several times, that I was friendly with the docs. They would relax and they'd talk to us about how nice it is to have a pleasant patient. And they went out of their way. In one case, what the doctor had told them to do wasn't working. And one of the nurses said, we're going to do something different. And I won't go into the bloody details, but she did something way different that is almost certainly outside the norms of medicine, but it worked. And she felt safe because I wasn't complaining. I was saying, do whatever you need to do. Do whatever you need to do. And thank you. So do be prepared or have someone. I had Phyllis, God bless her, who stayed with me even overnight to help be a spokesman when we were dealing with the folks. Do prepare yourself to anticipate and welcome your arrival back in the homeland of good health. Do harness the frequencies of spiritual song, of the recorded frequencies for healing, for pain relief that are on, for instance, YouTube. Use them. Use them. Do empower your body and mind however you can to release and let go of the pain imprints, those graven images, which our body automatically collects when we are in difficulty. The graven images that may well be continuing to our ongoing wellness battle in situations where we should be able to declare victory over pain and wellness more quickly if we stop keeping our graven images or letting our body keep the graven images. And for all of us, the prayer, may we find a way to quickly walk away out of this strange land into the land where we know already but are having trouble feeling God's love, God's soothing, God's healing, and God's guidance into whatever we're supposed to be doing next. Phyllis, will you take over the discussion, please? I am going to move over here, and I'm sort of clued out, and I want to come back a little later. So Phyllis is going to take over, and I am going to disappear off screen.
Okay, so now's the time when we share insights or thoughts that we have, and I just yeah, and so I will just say one thing to get us started is through the process of supporting Brian. At one point, where you feel very frustrated and like when's the next shoe going to drop and all of that. And I know Lori you've had to deal with this with your husband a lot lately, and Ellie with Donovan. And I know I start thinking, okay, gratitude is the doorway. We've talked about that. And so realizing the blessings in the moment. And so that helps. It's a small thing, but I felt like that helped me, and just vocalizing that out loud with Brian. And then, I hope that it helped him. I wasn't the one in the pain at that point. So the gratitudes is a gateway into another place, out of the strange land a little bit. So other thoughts that you folks have to share. Lori go ahead, honey.
There's a song that has meant a lot to me over the years because, as most of you know, I've lived with chronic pain since I was in my 20s. And it's called God on the Mountain. And I just want to read you the words. This is something that helps me when I go through trials and sickness and illness. Life is easy when you're up on the mountain and you've got peace of mind like you've never known. But things change when you're down in the valley. Don't lose faith, for you're never alone. For the God on the mountain is still God in the valley. When things go wrong, he'll make them right. And the God of the good times is still God in the bad times. The God of the day is still God in the night. You talk of faith when you're up on the mountain, but talk comes so easy when life's at its best. Now it's down in the valley of trials and temptations. That's where your faith is really put to the test. For the God on the mountain is still God in the valley. When things go wrong, he'll make them right. And the God of the good times is still God in the bad times. The God of the day is still God in the night. That song has always brought me a lot of relief. It is Well With My Soul is another song that I often listen to and sing. I have a CD of scripture that I often will play and listen to, or I will quote or try to put music to several of the Psalms. But a lot of times when we get to our lowest point, we can turn our mind around. We can not dwell, as Brian said, on what's happening and call it out or keep referring to it. But I've learned over the years there is a way to stay on top, but it takes a long time to get to that place. But if you try, you can find comfort in that when you're going through those trials and tribulations and sicknesses.
Thank you, Lori.
Ask her to send me those words, I'll share them.
If you send those to Brian, he'll put them in an email to everybody. Anybody else? Go ahead, Ellie.
Brian, I enjoyed your talk. And I especially enjoyed when you broke down the meaning of Zion and strange land, because unless you're spiritual, those two words seem to be not non-existent, but people don't necessarily know what they mean. So thank you for that. You gave a lot of good ideas, to help ourselves, find ways to sing, keep things in perspective, especially empowering ourselves, to include ourselves in our healing, and empower our mind to release, pain imprints. A lot of people don't realize that, things begin in the mind. Scripture says, as well as other things, is that we have the power of life and death in the tongue. But where does all that start? That starts with our thoughts. So, to go back to the thoughts, we have to be able to empower our mind to release those pain imprints, to release those negative imprints. And a couple of things that I wanted to add to Phyllis's list. Don't dismiss the non-traditional ways. Again, you had brought it up briefly, Brian, that, a nurse felt safe enough to say, we're going to try this. And it was not, a non-conventional, normal, quote unquote, way that they would have done things, because she felt safe enough that she could bring that to you. So, that brought to my mind, don't dismiss the non-traditional ways or the other ways that might be out there for healing. And then realize the power that we have, to be able to turn things around, whether it's to advocate for ourselves, like you found Brian and Phyllis and Lori with Norm, me with Donovan. And to not have fear just because we're lay people and they're the doctors. Because a lot of times people are afraid, for whatever reason, to speak up because they think they know more than what we do. And a lot of times it's not that, it's they haven't considered or, the information. I know with Donovan, I'm constantly saying to the doctors, can we try such and such? Can we try lowering the dosage? And the response that I always get is, well, he's at a therapeutic dose, and the doctors don't like to mess with that. He's not having this or that going on because the medicine's working. Well, what if it's not that? What if it's actually the body is healing itself? Can we try this? So, don't be afraid to speak up, because, we are here on ground level. The advocates, Phyllis, Lori, myself or other people, we're here on ground level. We see what's going on. They don't. So that's what I had to say.
And I have here from, I put down in the chat binaural beats for healing, which I like at times. And Amanda shared that she listens to the healing tones on YouTube. And somebody gave a thumbs up on that. And Leah suggested, oh, that she listens to those healing tones also, especially when she's trying to sleep and feeling uncomfortable. Lori has shared about 528 hertz on the YouTube, brings the most healing in her life. And I use it in Reiki and faith healing also. Are those the earth frequencies? I believe 528, Lori. Yes. So going outside, touching your feet to the earth, is a good thing also. The other day I was upset, and Brian, I was on my way home, and he said, "Why don't you go to a park and sit down by a tree and cry there?" And I thought that was a wonderful suggestion. I didn't do it. I went to a girlfriend's house and got a hug instead, but I thought that was a good healing thing. Christy, you have your hand up. Why don't you? Oh, Amanda, you have your hand up, and then Christy. Go ahead, Amanda. Do you need me to unmute you, or can you?
No, thank you. Actually, Christy's first.
Okay, Christy, go ahead, sweetie. Sorry about that. I'll unmute you. You're on, Christy.
I'm on two different.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, you're kind of vibrating or reverberating. Let me
Am I
step one of them
reverbing?
off.
Okay.
How do I do this?
How's that? Talk to us.
Okay, I'm on. Mute me on the other one.
Okay, let me see if I can find you. Okay, I see you. Okay, give me a sec here. And
Sacred.
there you
Yes.
go, Christy. Go ahead.
Sacred is mute the sacred, and I'm going to use the screen because you can see me on screen.
You're all set. Gotcha. Go ahead.
Okay. It's a slow day up here. Mute sacred if you can, because I don't see it muted and I can't. Okay.
We can hear you just fine.
All right. Okay, great. Hi. I'm thinking of some things because I'm in a lot of pain and distress myself. And so I look at the things that maybe it's a shotgun in the head to figure out here, there, where to go and not be so despondent. And that would be tapping. EFT is wonderful because you can use every negative that you feel and tap. As I'm going, I feel like shit. I'm so much in pain. I don't know what to do, but I'm still okay. I still love myself, honor myself, respect myself, and accept myself. And that, doing a few rounds of that really will come about. Once I recognize that it's there for me, it's always nice to have something in the atmosphere that's going to be that tap in order to remember these things. A person would be helpful, but if you don't have an advocate, and many people don't, and I don't really have the most positive in my atmosphere, in fact, that's what causes a lot more pain. But I recognize the ability to turn on the music that feeds my soul. And I know that dance music, because I hear that, and I know that in the background, if somebody turns it on, if he doesn't remember to turn it on, Brian, you're on the side, so I'm speaking in third person for you. Right. But that will do something. And even though the body may be disturbed, the music is still there because it's like, oh, I feel that, I know that, and that can be focused on. But with the EFT, there was something else I was going to say. The other thing was the I am. Somebody gave me that. I am that I am. And if I repeat that as a mantra, I am that I am, I can start to feel that process of what is the I am. I am that I am. I am that I am. And that becomes a simple mantra. If no other prayer, no other thought can insist. I love, because I was with Science of Mind for a while, the Science of Mind prayer treatment. And as practitioners, you learn a whole different variety of things to say. But the other part of the street language, or the shortcut to the street language, is remembering the outline. I am, or no, let's see, God is. I'm sorry, we do start with God. God is, and then I simplify everything that I know that God is: the sunshine, the stones outside, the sand, the this, the that, the heartbeat, the breath that I take. God is surrounding me now. God is the pain. God is everything that I want to name in my atmosphere. And then I create. It's God is, I am. So it comes back to the I am. If God is, then I am. I am. God is, I am. And I'm one and the same as God. As I express the sunshine or the feeling better or the pain that's so exaggerated, God is all of that. There is no exception. And then I am. And then I have is the prayer of asking for what you want to receive. So it's God is, I am, and I have. So I have the relief. I have the solution. I have the ability to move beyond this. I have whatever it is I'm asking for. If it's money or if it's anything outside of anything that I think I have no control over, but I have it because God is and I am, therefore I have. And then the other part would be to say thank you, gratitude, and it's over, and or it's done. I have always appreciated that prayer treatment. I know Unity has another kind, but when we understand the shortcut of what we call God or that force of creation, knowing that we are one and the same, there is no separation. And we've been talking about this for quite some time in a lot of different verbiages. But I remind myself of that if I can get to that. And the tapping helps, the music helps, the ability to do a mantra helps. So that's where I am that I am. I want to also say, because this is a sweet little thing, since I worked with mental health, I realize that many people that go into sobriety use a sweet little prayer that becomes their stay. That's their solid ground. And that is, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Now, in pain, we're thinking, how do you accept that? But still, the prayer itself becomes something iconic. And I can't even explain it, but we all know it. Many families have used it, or relatives, and it works. And I know from being around people in sobriety, that is their go-to and the ability to understand. I'm going to give another one with how pain may work, and it's called HALT, and it still goes to those in recovery, and that's hungry, angry, lonely, tired. And any one of those is going to create a problem of being ouchy or ooh. And then the second one that you add to it. So I'm tired, and tired is produced from pain. So if I become somewhere irritated in that and feel lonely because I'm putting myself alone, then I've done two. What was it? Angry? And then I'm angry about the whole thing. So now I'm in HALT. What does HALT mean? It's a way of stepping back to realize I have an arsenal. And also working in mental health, whenever we would talk to someone, it is, what are your written things in your go-to so that you're not going to go cut yourself, or you're not going to do this, or you're not going to do that? What are those things that you've written down? There is a go-to. You have your own first aid kit. And sometimes we have to write those things down because I know I don't remember, but we have trained people, or hopefully help them to work to realize this is the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, and have that available because it's important for all of us. And I thank you.
Thank you, Christy.
Thanks, Christy.
Amanda?
Hey, everybody. So I love this conversation. I love this topic, actually. And so thank you. Thank you for the room, and thank you for everybody's time. I was thinking about Louise Hayes, and I had read some of her literature at one point and how she talks about disease being the dis-ease of our souls and manifesting in our body, our mental health, all of that. And so to rid ourselves of disease, we had to take care of the dis-ease within. And some of the ways that we do that in our house is to pour into ourselves every day. Like people speak to their plants, and there's been studies that music and positive affirmations and words spoken to plants causes them to flourish. But if they played really angry music or insulted the plants would, start to shrink and die. And so we pour into ourselves, and then also practicing daily gratitude and sound baths. When I still lived in Atlanta, I discovered sound baths. And, how miraculous was that to be able to go and be surrounded by Himalayan salt and listen to a practitioner, play these beautiful tones on all these instruments. It was not only soothing for our souls, but we just came out of there feeling so much better. And so sound is so important. Music is so important. So thank you for this.
Thank you for sharing, Amanda. So there's a lot of ways. Anybody in here have anything they want to add? Okay. All right. Friends, this has been really a good time of sharing ideas in terms of bringing healing to ourselves and singing. All of these could be examples of singing into ourselves in a positive way. I know sometimes when I'm down, I'll get the words of a song come to my mind, and I'll just sing that song, and it lifts me up right away. So I'm grateful for a history of having been exposed to a lot of different songs that lift my spirit. Bring all the situations, all the people, all the concerns of our hearts and our minds that occupy us. All those we care for our neighborhoods, and for this great, beautiful earth. Heavenly Father, you know before we speak or even think about the needs, our own needs, the needs of those around us, the needs that we see on the news and in the newspaper, however we touch into the world. We want to place all of these into the hands of our Heavenly Father. I sometimes will often say, I place them all on the Christ within me. And we ask for your divine assistance. We ask for your serenity and the peace that comes from our Zion, our spending time in our prayer, and our connection to the divine. And let us gather all of that together in our prayer. And we pray together, Amen. Okay, then our next part is our forgiveness ritual. And I'll read this, and then I'll invite you to put yourself here first, the forgiveness that we each need within ourselves for whatever, something from today or from way in the past that we might still be holding on to, the unforgiveness, because it begins with ourselves. I express love and understanding toward myself and others. Sometimes I may think of forgiveness as submission or giving in, but forgiveness is really a demonstration of strength and power. I call up my inner resolve to forgive others for actions I have found hurtful, and to forgive myself for past mistakes. And so I'm going to light this, and let's release all the unforgiveness that we have within us for ourselves and for others. And may it be so, and may I be safe here. We'll see. Okay, it worked. Okay. All right. And now it's time for our gratitudes. And could I begin with Ellie and then go to Christy?
Gratitudes, reflecting back, well, this week and maybe the week before, but, with everyone throughout the States and Canada and, where the fires go, my gratitude has been, having a place to live, because so many have been displaced, not only people, but the wildlife. I shared a short video today that a place here in Idaho, I mean, herds and herds of deer are coming, onto ranches, by the fences, by the roads, because they've literally been displaced as well. So, my gratitude has been having, a place to live, having a place to go. I mean, our air quality hasn't been, it's been moderate, sometimes not so good. Some days up to 150, but still on the days it's been moderate, still being able to breathe, without masks, without oxygen, without, some of those things that, we can still breathe on our own. Here, I don't know about other places, we've had our electric company, do controlled outages to prevent, wildfires. And, my thought goes out to the elderly and to the disabled, those that don't have generators, those that don't have, backup power sources, those that don't have places to go. So it's not that I don't think about these things, because I do, but when you've got a situation, it puts it in the forefront more.
Mm-hmm.
So, my gratitude is having, a home, having a place to go, having, you know, I mean, what would we do if we had to evacuate? And the answer is, I don't know. We don't have anywhere to go. So, yeah, so it puts things in perspective. And you know, I'd like to read something. I put it in the chat, but I don't know if everyone saw it, but it's the pagan serenity prayer. I don't know if you saw it, Phyllis. I can just leave it in
Yeah, I
chat.
do see it here.
Okay.
Can we maybe do that as a
Yeah.
prayer later on? I see
Mhm.
it up there. I love it. Thank you. And don't let me forget. Let's share that before we, as a closing or as something,
Okay.
okay? Thank you, Ellie. Okay,
Mhm.
Christy and then Amanda, a gratitude. Okay, Christy, are you with us? Are you there, Christy? Okay, let's
I
go
am.
to,
I am.
oh,
I am.
okay.
I'm technically challenged today. Like my brain is just forgetting what it ever knew.
So my gratitude, if you can actually mute the other one, because I can't get to.
Okay, hang on. I just did the wrong one. Okay. Now, did that help?
No. Mute the one you just, mute the painting.
Okay. Okay. And now we'll unmute the sacred. Here we go. You got it.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm stayed on two of them, but it helps me figure out
It's
getting to you.
okay.
Okay. So the part of gratitude for me, and thank you, Ellie, you were so elegant in the way that you spoke of the major crisis that's happening in the world. The world is burning. And looking at the things that are happening brings me to a place of understanding that I'm safe. I'm totally safe. And at the same time, I'm on the edge of the continent. I'm on the edge of where the shaking and rattling could be very destructive, but I still feel safe. And I know that, and by all means and grace, that what that safety means is that I'm in the right place at the right time. And I'm incredibly grateful for that, which means that if all hell breaks loose, I'm supposed to be doing what I'm doing and giving service in what I'm doing. The ability to be in that brings me to a bigger place of just I go into the quiet or the internal a lot more, and I witness so much and realize that we are these sober experience of understanding, we're in such an amazing breakdown, but the breakdown occurs within our body constantly. The cells are renewed over and over and over again. Everything dies at some point. It has a lifespan within our organism. And if that's true, the organism that we live on has to go through the same thing. I wouldn't want to say have to, but obviously it is. And whatever it is doing is going to be producing something entirely different. Where I also train my eye, because in my family, we have little children. And I'm training my eye on them because they are magnanimous. They come in so intact with their intellect and their ability to be ready. And they're on the ground running quickly as soon as they are able to get strength in their legs. The idea of these children are helping me understand too. Where I am as a mortal being is realizing every moment does count, but I don't put that into what do I want to do for my my carnal ability to understand who am I to leave on this planet, because I don't think that matters anymore. I think that the witness of who we are, the energetic part of who we are, this is what I'm grateful for. And I go back to the point of knowing how important you are as a family, to be able to witness and not have any idea of snubbing your noses or turning your head in an awkward way, because we encompass each other in such a beautiful way. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful that we have where we are. Thank you.
Thank you, Christy. Okay, Amanda and then Lori R.
Thank you. I'm grateful for healing, that my healing is not just for me. I'm grateful that life is happening for me, not to me. I'm grateful for the strengthening and embracing of those close to me and growing in community. And I'm grateful for the work that will come my way and the way of my children and all who need it this week. Thank you.
Thank you. Lori R. and then Lori K.
Well, I'm always thankful for this church family, but I'm also thankful for my family. You know, the grandkids are getting older. They're working full-time jobs now. They're in their own relationships, and it's really hard to get everybody together just for family meals. And I'm thankful we're going to have a good get together tomorrow and everybody is able to put things aside and show up. So I'm always thankful for family.
Thank you, Lori. Lori K. and then Sandy.
I'm grateful that hard things end. I'm grateful that I have strength. I'm grateful that there are people in the world who care about me.
Thanks, Lori. Okay, Sandy, if you can hear us.
Yes,
And
can you
then
hear me?
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sandy.
Okay. Just wanted to say thank you for inviting me into this beautiful, sharing, loving prayer tonight. Thanking my friend Amanda for inviting me as well. And this has just brought great joy and peace to me tonight. And I'm praying for all of you that you'll have that you'll feel better, that you'll experience joy, and that God will enter into all of your lives as well. And I'm saying a prayer for my sons right now so that they can start their new sophomore year of high school tomorrow, that they have the strength and the courage to start their new year. So thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. Glad to have you join us. Charlotte, then we'll come to this room. Charlotte, I can unmute you. Let me see where you are, dear. There you are. Can you hear us? You're unmuted. Hey, Charlotte, I'll come back to you. We'll come to this room and then I'll check back with you. Okay. Okay. All right. Eric, a gratitude?
I'm grateful to be here today. Grateful for my dog and friends and people I know.
Great. Brian, gratitude?
Great. I'm glad that I've gotten through, I won't say with flying colors, that I'm gathering enough energy to be able to participate. That I'm getting my first procedure a week ahead of when they originally thought. And that I had such a wonderful support system, you and this entire family of people who've been praying and supporting in different ways. Yay.
Okay, thanks. Ethan?
Oh, I'm glad or grateful that I keep finding interesting things and without having to go far. You know, that I get to have a diverse range of experiences, you know, while maintaining the same residence, you know, that I live in an interesting place and that those opportunities are always seemingly right there for me to find something new in an old place.
Great. Sarah?
I'm grateful to be here. And I'm grateful for the sunflowers outside.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, me too.
And all flowers.
Yeah. Paul? Gratitude?
I'm grateful for the weather, as strange as it is.
All right, Mary?
I'm grateful to have a home and a honey bunny. And I found a tadpole in my pool. One tiny little tadpole. I mean, this thing was this almost bigger than a dot, but it was a tadpole. So our two tree frogs out there are daddies.
Okay.
The daddy.
Such a delight. Yes. I'm grateful for all the healing prayers and the love in this community. And it's just it's a beautiful thing. And yeah, and glad to be able to be here and to share together. I'm going to go back to Charlotte real briefly. Charlotte, I'm unmuting you in case you have gratitude. Did you hear? Okay.
No, it's not working.
Okay, something's not working right. So if you want to text or put it in the chat, or we'll leave it on at the end for a little conversation. Okay, so our prosperity acknowledgement, I'm going to share for our church. Revelation Spiritual Church is a group of spiritual seekers working to contribute mightily to good in the world. The church is a prosperity organization receiving and circulating money and love easily and wisely. And now it's time for us to together say the prayer of protection. And sometimes we have it in the chat. I don't see it right there. Oh, here it is. Yes, thank you for putting that up there. It's in the chat if you need help with it. And keep yourselves muted and we'll say the prayer here. And then we'll see what messages we have from the Spirit for everyone. So the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And we are grateful And so it is.
Okay, and
Brian's
There's
gonna come
messages.
back and share messages from the spirit. Thank you, Brian.
thank goodness for having a lounger so I can be here and get some strength back. Okay, let's see, we'll start with Charlotte. The message, and it makes no sense to me, is open your eyes and see the bright shining Christ on the hill. That's what I'm giving for you. Oh, no, what did we do here? Did we just lose things?
What happened, Brian?
I don't know. Everyone has suddenly disappeared.
Really?
Yeah, can you see them? If you can, just tell me who is.
Okay, Lori R. and then Christy.
Okay, Lori R. I see you walking, Lori, and the soles of your feet are 2 inches off the ground. I think that's a very positive message. Oh, it says, I'm being told I've been signed out because I'm currently signed in on another device. Boy, that's a new thing. Okay. And so that was the first one. Who was the next one, please?
Christy.
Okay.
Christy is next.
Envision your hands shining with divine light as you go to bed at night. And see if that doesn't give some additional peace to you. Next.
Awesome.
Amanda.
Amanda, I pick up sadness. Do not dwell on the sadness. It feels like something long term. It's okay to process, let it go. There are simple ways to do it. I'll be glad to share some with you if you care to call in. But don't let that underlying sadness taint all the goodness or shade all the goodness that you have. Okay, next.
Ellie, then Sandy.
Okay, Ellie. I see this big rainbow smile smiling at you, Ellie, and a light shower of happiness, sort of like almost a mist of happiness just surrounding you, gifting you. Who was the next one?
Sandy, and then me.
Okay, Sandy. I see you working with Lego blocks, Sandy, and you're building a stairway, it looks like. Allow yourself to build the stairway without thinking too far ahead of where the stairway is going to end. It feels like this is a spiritual journey or something of that sort, but you're building toward greater happiness and contentment step by step by step. Lori K. I see a white light just shining on you with such intensity that the black specks within you are being driven out the backside and away away to eternity. Okay, we got everyone done here.
Yes, all good
Okay.
in here.
Coming to this room. Thank you for your help. Okay, Eric. I see you working on a project that requires a ladder. Be very, very careful of the stability of the ladder because there's a risk it's going to seem stable and then you get up there and it's going to fall. We don't want that to happen.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm telling you that so it doesn't happen. Paul? I see you mowing someplace where there's a lot of dry grass. And there's a caution there. I'm going to say something along the lines of thinking of how many places is the dry grass that starts the fire. You find yourself working your landscaping someplace with a lot of dry grass. Maybe you want to wet that ground down before you do whatever you're going to do. Anyway, be very careful. Mary. There's a cat someplace. I don't know if it's going to come into your life in your house or property, but there's a cat that is going to seek special attention from you. Give it the attention. It will be a blessing to you. Ethan. It says, allow yourself to experience as well as to know. And you will find even more understanding and peace than you have now. Sarah. You may be presented with an opportunity to try something different or a bit riskier than usual. The image I have is you singeing your fingers because it turns out to be something not good. Be very cautious about what you try. Use good judgment.
Yes.
Phyllis. It shows a level of energy just rising through your whole body, re-energizing your body, and creating healings where you don't even know the healing is needed.
Thank you.
Okay, so
I've got one for you, Brian.
oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Pulled a couple of tarot cards. The first of them is the success card. You're going to be fine. It's the Six of Wands. You are going to be just fine. I know, awesome. And the second card is the Fool card upside down. And upside down in my readings means internal. And the meaning I derive from this is sometimes you have to be lost in order to be found.
Thank you.
So, yeah, don't be afraid of the dark, I think is the message.
Okay, that brings us on to mine. Yay. Ellie, will you please give us as our parting prayer the reading you were going to do?
Turn off recording.
God and Goddess, grant me the power of water to accept with ease and grace what I cannot change, the power of fire for the energy and courage to change the things I can, the power of air for the ability to know the difference, the power of earth for the strength to continue my path.
Wow. Thank you so much. Folks, blessings to every one of you. A reminder, we do have expenses every month, and Phyllis and I have not been able to pay attention to reminding. If you have any inclination to send us some money, you can call it in here or go to revelationspiritualchurch.com, and there's a button where you can donate, because we still need to make our payments. Thank you all. Blessings to you all. May all of us who are in the strange land find our way farther out this coming week. Anyone who needs or could use some extra prayer this week, email me. Sandy, if you want to send us your email, we'll put you on the email list so you know who's talking each week. And be blessed, do good work. Lift yourselves, your family, and the world up. And we'll see you all next week. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you, everybody.